find the winner, who will be one of the people that will go and represent Australia in Turkey in late October and early November at the IBSF World Snooker Championships. This particular event is extremely close to our heart. It's the jewel in the crown in terms of competitive snooker within this country, and it has been very much supported by the RACV City Club. We could not have had anything like the successful event that we've had without the support of the club, and I would sincerely like to thank Rob Everett as the General Manager, the Manager Amanda Rockman, and all her staff, but especially Miss Melissa McCallum. Thank you very much, Melissa. In the course of this year, we have run a number of tournaments, and we've had some sponsorship money that's been provided to us by Reventon. Now, Reventon have an arrangement whereby when the entry fee is charged for players to enter these events, $25 from each player's entry fee goes to the White Ribbon Foundation. And the White Ribbon Foundation is dedicated to eliminating abuse towards women and children. And therefore, it is a task that is very close to home for all of us here in the Victorian Business Snooker Association. Our game is dedicated towards behaving in a proper manner, to being extremely sporting, and in the olden days we used to have a term called gentlemanly conduct, and that is what we're all about. So that means that we would never want to have any situation where any woman or child felt as though they were under any sort of threat. So the White Ribbon Foundation is very dear to our heart, and we were very happy to come on board with Reventon and cooperate with them in terms of the donations that have been made throughout the year. So in the sum total of this calendar year, the White Ribbon Foundation receives from Reventon and the BBSA, who are an affiliate of the ABSC, the sum of $10,000, and that's why I'm holding this gaudy cheque up here in front of me. So thank you very much to everybody who's been associated with all the events. The Australian National Snooker Championship has been held here for more than 20 years. It is held here because this is the finest billiard room in the Southern Hemisphere, and it's held here through the kindness and generosity of the RACV City Club, and through the financial support that we receive from Reventon, and the financial support that the ABSC receives from CONS. These sponsors of record should not go unrecognised. We are appreciative of all their efforts, and we are especially appreciative of the fact that the ABSC President, Mr. Frank Dewins, is here today to show his support for the National Championship. This is the perpetual trophy for which they play. It's called the Bill Barry Trophy, and it has a hologram inside it of Bill himself. He's a very famous Australian snooker player. He was an Australian champion. He represented Australia with great distinction at world level, and Australia is very proud of all our snooker champions. And therefore, when Bill passed, it was determined that this would become the WS Bill Barry Memorial Trophy, and it resides here at the RACV City Club because that is its home. And that is the way it should be, because the RACV City Club provide all the support that they do to us. And for that, we are extremely grateful. In terms of this year's tournament, we've also had support from Reventon, and we've had most recently support from Alex Alabakis, who came along and said that he would like to put in extra money for the breaks that people could make. So before we started today, the highest break was 126, held by Matthew Bolton, and this morning Matthew was kind enough to allow me to say that we hoped we could beat that break. He was thrilled when he heard me exhort people to beat that break, and as it transpired, we played a match down on table 1, and in the second frame of the day, Kurt Dunham made a break of 136. So Matthew Bolton promptly turned around in the third frame on table 3 and made a break of 137. Well done. So we have been treated to an absolute feast of snooker later on. Matthew made another total clearance for 131, just to show that it wasn't luck. But it is never luck. These people play with enormous skill, and we can only appreciate the sublime artistry that they show. We're extremely grateful to have the playing conditions that we do here. They were provided for us by Alcock, Thompson and Taylor, who came in and fitted the cloths that were provided by the ABSC, and we have a magnificent match table on which to play the final. So I'm going to get the trophy and get out of your way, but before I do that, I would like to introduce the people that are down here in the pit. So firstly, the players involved are from Victoria, James Mifsud. And from Western Australia, Matthew Bolton. Larry Forgan, the Director of Referees, will be manning the scoreboard, and the final will be refereed for you by Mr. John Moss. John? Thank you to everyone who's been involved throughout the weekend. I hope that everyone thoroughly enjoys the final. I shall leave you in the capable hands of your referee. Thank you.
First play, best of 11. Matthew Bolton versus James Mifsud. Matthew to play.
Okay guys, welcome here to the final match of the 2019 Australian National Snooker Championship. I'm George Spiteri, coming to you live with the assistance of Dan Lynch here from Cue Ball TV. We've just started the match here between Matthew Bolton and James Mifsud, who, by all accounts, when you see the matches that they played during their semi-finals, are definitely worthy finalists here, with some serious break building from Western Australian Matthew Bolton, who had 2 breaks over 130 in his match against Charlie Chafe, while James Mifsud had a pretty dogged fight against Kurt Dunham, going the distance and eventually coming out the victor 5-4. We see Matthew at the table at the moment. He's struck first blood. And as always, seems to be cueing the ball really, really nicely. Looks really comfortable today. Long way to go, of course. We've got a best of 11 final here, so race to 6. Definitely a lot of action ahead if you want to come down to the RACV club and see these two go for it live. Oh, and as I speak, Matthew Bolton misses what looked like a relatively easy red into the corner pocket that you'd back him to pot 9 times out of 10 on any other day. So early starts, maybe just getting rid of those early nerves, but he looks to have gotten out of it unscathed, because he hasn't left James anything but a tough bridging shot over the black ball. But James will be happy that Matthew isn't blazing away with another century break. So Matthew again has the first bite of the cherry. Looks like the red closest to the pink might be on. I think that's his only option. I think he'll be making extra certain of this one this time. And look at that fancy camera work by Dan Lynch. Every angle covered. And again, we see a very uncharacteristic-like miss by Matthew. I think he was placing a bit too much emphasis on the position on the red and just took his eyes off the pink for a second, and as anyone will tell you, that's all it takes. So James now with a straightforward red and a chance to get into the reds.
One.
It's probably didn't get the contact that he wanted on the pack, and he's run through a fair bit more than he wanted to, so it's a tricky black now. It's not going to be easy to get position on the next red. But he's played that with some beautiful touch, and for a left-hander he might be stuck with the rest here. Yep, but still the option of two reds. Beautiful, and perfect on the black too.
James Mifsud, 9.
And again, another shock miss. Looks like these guys could be clutching at the cues at the moment. They're absolutely determined to walk out of here with the title, and maybe a little nerves creeping in. There's absolutely no chance that these guys would have missed these shots this morning. They were just hammering everything. Like I said, Matthew came out of the match with Charlie with 137 break and a 131 only 2 frames later, so I think they just need to settle. I'm sure we'll see a bit more consistency after this frame. Both of these players definitely no stranger to the big occasions. They've both been there on many a final, and actually as recently as only a couple of months ago when James defeated Matthew at the Revington International in Albury. James just looked really solid all weekend and walked out with a handy $14,000. Okay, so Matthew getting a nice little kiss after the pink there and leaving himself nicely on the red to the same pocket. So we've got Kylie McIlroy, who's in Maddie's corner by the sound of it. G'day, Kylie. Hope you're enjoying the start. Matthew seems to be finding a little bit of rhythm now, so
21.
it'd be interesting to see if he could polish these off and secure the first frame.
22. 28.
Still got a bit of work to do, Matthew, here. He's obviously got the straight red into the corner, but the only real possibility after this and potentially a pink is the red that's closest to the pink spot. Other than that, there's a bit of traffic to still get through.
29.
And I don't think Matthew's pulled that back enough. The white will definitely be floating away from the reds after he pots the pink. He's got a handy lead though. We'll see if he takes the conservative approach with the pink. No, he's played for the red into the middle pocket, but
35.
he's cued it too well and he's forced himself now into a safety shot. I dare say you'll be seeing James come to the table behind the brown spot.
Matthew Bolton, 35.
Looks a little short. I'm sure Matthew would have appreciated a nice run in behind the yellow spot. He'll be a bit disappointed to run out of position there. 49 the difference there with 51 points on the table. Black is relatively safe in relation to the reds, but not out of commission. And James has played a relatively good safety shot there, but has left Matthew a shot to nothing, which I think we will see him take on, because he'll probably leave the white ball in a similar position to where it is right now if he misses. Oh no, he's clipped the brown, giving Jimmy a chance. Jimmy knows he can't afford too many colours other than the black and pink.
One.
Okay, so we've got to rectify the little mistake that I made earlier. It was actually Kyle, not Kylie. Sorry, mate. My eyes deceived me there, mate. The font is a little bit too skinny on this screen, so my apologies. But if it makes Matthew feel any better, we'll let him know that Kyle and Kylie wish him good luck.
8.
Keep those comments coming, guys. And I'll be sure to get a nice close-up of the screen before I make any comments. Oh, Jimmy has tried the dead weight red into the corner to try and land on the pink, but it looks like he's going to be forced to take the black. Gutsy shot taking it at dead weight from this far behind. But if I know Jimmy at all, he'll have a go at this. He won't be too conservative.
James Mifsud, 9. Matthew Bolton, 58.
And missing the black has left him needing snookers. And has left Matthew a pretty easy shot with the rest to just finish up on the black into the middle pocket. So if you're a betting man, you'd say that Matthew is going to walk away from the first frame 1-0 up. given himself a couple of options there. He might even consider the blue rather than the black.
Six. Matthew Bolton 6 and frame.
And as Matthew misses the yellow with the wrist, he gets the nod from James to concede the first frame. And here we see the power of the internet, guys. We have Nicola here, who's said good day from Canada. Good to have you here, Nicola. Hope you're enjoying what is bound to be a pretty fast action final.
Let's talk about a more prosperous tomorrow. A tomorrow where your finances, property investments, property management, accounting, and financial planning are looked after in an exceptional capacity, all under the same roof. When hiring Reventon, you are hiring a team of professionals to support you in your investment and financial decisions. Your future is Reventon's future. So, let's talk about a more prosperous tomorrow today.
Second frame. Matthew Bolton leads 1 frame to nil. James to break.
So we return now to the RACV club for frame 2. James Mifsud breaking and Matthew getting away to a fine start in the first frame. Good break by Jimmy, putting Matthew hard up on the cushion. It's the one thing with these two guys. You know that they're going to put up a hell of a fight. Whether it's tied at 4-all or one of them has the greater advantage, it's going to be a hell of a fight today. Sharon, loving the coverage. Thank you, Cue Ball TV. Yep, thank you, Sharon. Yes, Dan and Cue Ball TV do an exceptional job at all of our events. Make sure that nobody misses out on the snooker and cue ball action. And James coming to the table and knocking in a beautiful length of the table red. He sort of landed awkwardly here for a left-hander. As well as he's hit it, he would have loved to have finished another 3-4 inches further back for that green. As it is though, he's having to use the rest. But he's played that well. And he's finished well for the red to roll up onto the black. So, opening change to James. Let's see what he can make of it. Beautiful. Absolutely perfect. he's landed on the black, so he can play either the gentle screw onto the red that he's landed on after the pack. Slow down, Jimmy. You're playing too fast for me, champion. But he has opened up a couple of balls now, so hopefully he can find his flow and knock in a nice break. He's landed nicely on the right side of the blue again. Minus 2 reds, yeah.
James Mifsud, 46.
So we've just seen Jimmy miss a tricky red into the middle pocket, running out of position after the black, which has now opened the door for Matthew to come in and see if he can pinch a 2-0 lead. James won't be happy with that. He's basically opened up all the balls now and made Matthew's job just that little bit easier. Having said that, there's still a bit of work to do. He's got 3 balls close to this side cushion. And he's played that really nicely. Perfect on the red for the next colour, which will most likely be the pink into the corner. He's got to work out a way now to get into those 3 reds. Still 26 behind, so he's going to need them.
24.
Probably a little straight on this black. Yeah, I don't know if that's come off, but I think he was trying to land dead straight to leave himself an angle on the pink, but as it is, he's got a bit of a tricky red with the rest. I say tricky because he's bound to land somewhere near those reds unless he plays it dead weight, which from this far back he won't want to do. Oh, and he's missed that by a way. He'll be disappointed, but has got away with it. Hasn't really left Jimmy anything but the option to head towards the balk end. James trying to get himself behind the brown, but has only kissed into it. He's left Matthew a long red, which could almost be deemed a shot to nothing, but it is a dangerous one, and he is hampered by the yellow. Just getting referee John Moss to clean the white ball. Not sure exactly what he played there, but I dare say we'll be heading into the 3rd frame at 1 each. He has left Jimmy a couple of options here. He's only 15 up, so he's still got a little bit of work to do, but I think I'd fancy him from here.
1. Six.
Oh, Somebody yell 4.
James Mifsud 6, Matthew Bolton 4.
Don't know whether James was trying for a bit too much there or whether he just took his eyes off it, but he's given Matthew a well-needed 4 points and just let him get his way back into this frame. It's only 17 points here. It's only a couple of blacks, which for these boys is absolutely nothing.
High, please.
And that's a great pot from Matthew. Just threw everything at it. Don't think he really considered the scoreline when he's playing that. He just went full throttle. And I dare say if he takes the blue, a red and a colour that we'll be seeing James playing from behind the black, so
6.
I think we'll be seeing red, black and snooker here. That's my prediction anyway.
7.
See James sitting in his chair there, thinking that he may have let an opportunity slip here to even the match. We've got to remember here that
14.
Matthew is one of the local billiards geniuses, so anything around this black spot he usually has a pretty strong control over.
Matthew Bolton
Having said that,
14.
he's proved me wrong
James Mifsud
and
2, Matthew Bolton 14.
made an absolute mozza out of what you would have thought was a certain snooker chance and really put James under the pump. So now we've got a 3-point battle here. Oh yeah. Just being heckled in the background here by one of the snooker referees here. It's amazing the people you run into at these events. They let anyone in, but we won't name names. James has had a bit of a loose shot at that. He's gotten away with it, but I think ideally he would have pulled up a little shorter than that and not given Matthew another chance to play a snooker here. And something tells me that Matthew's kicked the goal there. Yep. Lengthwise he's got a beautiful white, but unfortunately he's picked the gap between the brown and yellow. It'll be interesting to see what James chooses to do here with only 3 points in it. Oh, look at that. As easy as you like, he's decided to go the cash on the red and land fat on the black. Not too many people would have thought of playing it like that against Matthew Bolton, but you get to see the level of player that we're watching here today, guys. And I really wish these guys had stopped doing that to me every time I give them a rap. Having potted a big red into the corner pocket, he's gone and missed what you'd consider to be a pretty easy pink into the middle pocket. So how's Matthew going to play this from yellow to green? Will he play the kiss into the pink? No, he's played it well. This could be a gut-wrenching loss of frame for Jimmy if Matthew clears these up. He's just taking time to get referee John Moss to clean the white ball again. One of these guys, if not both, is leaving some chalk on the white ball. So Matthew just making sure that he doesn't get any kicks. And again we see another unexpected miss. Matthew stopping there just momentarily to see what damage he'd caused, but without necessarily having the snooker, he's left the green pretty tight up on the cushion. That's a good shot by Matthew. So he's completely covered the green. And I dare say that Jimmy's missed that by a fair way, and he has. And Matthew has elected to put him back, so James will have a second crack at this. I dare say he'll get a lot closer this time around though. No, he's practically played exactly the same shot. Okay, it looks like Jimmy's opened up the angle a little bit this time, so he should get a little closer. But again, I've had a look at this cloth. It's brand new, just been laid out by Alcock's especially for this event, and it will tend to slide a little bit. So I think Jimmy needs to adjust his angle somewhat just before playing the next shot. So I think John Moss couldn't get the positioning of this white wrong now. He's had a few goes at it. Now, how are we going to go? I think this is the one. Some ironic cheers from some of the crowd. Something tells me that James doesn't think that was applause worthy, but always appreciate a good crowd. So now we have a reversed scoreline with Matthew leading by 14. Will James go another long pot here? Oh, bang. There you have it, guys. Jimmy perfectly on the brown here. We'll be putting everything into clearing up from here. Now, how's he going to get from blue to pink? Oh, he's played that well to avoid the black. Still got a bit of work to do for the black, but he's done well to avoid that with check side on the white. And now you might be seeing the cue ball obstructed by a big black ball with ears. That was referee John Moss, but still managed to see a beautiful pot by Jimmy with the rest to leave himself another tester on the black. Jimmy going all in. He's a great rest player, James Mifsud. He's probably played about 4 or 5 shots with the rest in that frame, and he's nailed every single one of them as clean as you like. If anything, that'll make him feel good as he levels. And as we expected, we've got a nice tight one leading into the third.
Let's talk about a more prosperous tomorrow. A tomorrow where your finances, property investments, property management, accounting, and financial planning are looked after in an exceptional capacity, all under the same roof. When hiring Reventon, you are hiring a team of professionals to support you in your investment and financial decisions. Your future is Reventon's future. So, let's talk about a more prosperous tomorrow today.
Third frame. Score is 1 frame all. Matthew to break. Quiet, please.
Okay, and we're back here for frame 3. Matthew Bolton breaking. And as I live and breathe, we are wiring up the one and only Roger Fairbrother, who not too long ago was inducted into the New South Wales Billiards and Snooker Hall of Fame. And that's right, they do let pretty much anyone into that thing, but no, in all seriousness, he's one of the game's nice guys. And here from New South Wales to have a dig at this title. He was ultimately eliminated by Tyson Crinus. And good afternoon, Mr. Roger.
Hello, George. How you going? All right?
Oh, you know, could be a lot worse, but I'm here to watch a great final of snooker. Got a couple of heavyweights here who are not going to lay down no matter what the score line. So
Matthew Bolton, no.
Yeah, they're both going the shots, especially Jimmy, of course, with that last, long ball to clear up, and the black as well.
yeah,
Did well getting out the snooker eventually.
yeah, it only took him 5 goes.
Yeah, there's a lot of slide off these cushions.
I think me or you could have probably got it in 4.
I've probably been 7 and happy to get there.
Oh, there you go.
But I was watching it from a different angle, and he was getting a little bit of arc off the cushion as well. And
Yeah, did mention the cloth.
Yeah, yeah. This is a tricky one. This table with the side, little touches of side, and he missed the ball into the centre pocket, Jimmy, and I think it was a pink, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
I think he swerved the ball away, got on the yellow and got away with it.
just saw Jimmy try to open the pack off the black here, but he's just got a thin glance off the pack and ended up at the wrong end of the table. So it doesn't really matter when you can pot like that, does it, Roger?
No,
So I think
it's
we
not
might
Jimmy White,
see...
is it? It's Jimmy
No,
Mifsud.
no. So I dare say we'll see Jimmy coming off a couple of cushions here
Yeah.
and getting a much nicer result. Having said that, he's still got a bit of distance and probably a pack to avoid here
Yeah.
after this pot.
I think he'll take this on, screw across to the other side of the black.
Yeah, slightly
Yeah,
hampered by
Jimmy.
the green and the brown,
There it is again.
and that's just fantastic. So one thing we're going to get today, if nothing else, is an attacking match. These guys, as capable as they are with their safety, they'd rather just do the business and pot every ball off the roof if they can.
Well, certainly James is like that. He has a lot of confidence in his own ability, and if he was playing blackjack, he'd take another card, I think.
Yeah. Don't know where he gets that from. It's not like he ever grew up with a positive snooker role model anywhere around. So nothing you know, Roger?
Nothing I know.
No big brothers that could probably hold a cue as well as him.
No.
I think he's got a little lucky there.
Bit of DNA involved, I think.
Not too sure. Is Matthew going for the pot or the safety off the rail?
There you go. I think he's got away with it, so he's all right. Is it on?
Looks touch and go. Hard to tell from this angle.
Yeah, it looks like it's on.
Foul. Matthew Bolton 4.
So we've just had noticed that a certain peroxide blonde world snooker champion will be arriving at the RACV club in a short while, so it would appear that he's coming over to watch how it's really done.
It's all about Neil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one and only.
He's done well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done all right.
Living the dream.
He'll be a good player one day.
Living the dream, yeah.
So, with some luck, we might even get a bit of banter about the Collingwood Pies getting into the top 4 this year. Loves his pies, Neil.
You look at this position, an inch the other way, and be in a bit of trouble getting down the table. But he's all right. He can get off this far right red. And if he can get the white ball to exactly where he is now, but it looks like he's taking the red on.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like
All right,
it doesn't seem like safety is
forget-
an option at the moment.
Forget safety. I'm going them. Hang on. Look at this.
Oh,
Now.
almost.
Yeah. it's-
He's left Matthew a shot, but not easy to continue from where he is. It looks relatively straight, but I think he'll be able to get out of there.
No, he's fine for this. We're choosing to get the black back on the spot, but he's all right.
Just a touch short, but still not beyond him.
Of course, he's got the red over the pocket, so just got to knock this in.
Oh,
Undercooked
hang
it.
on. Oh, yep. That is almost a complete snooker by Matthew. I don't think Jimmy could have put him in a better position there, but potable, you think, Roger?
Yeah, it looks like it, the way he's playing it. Yeah. So, pink or yellow to get on a red. Pretty sure he played the pink. But which red? He's looking at that red near the pink spot.
Doesn't have a huge margin for error here. There's nothing into the right pocket because they're all covering themselves, but
You can also stun this in with a bit of left and get into the reds. Be unlucky not to be on something. But it looks like he's screwing down for one of those reds that are loose. Yeah, he's going for this red that's just above. He had a choice of two.
and
Above
I think he's found the gap there, Roger. So
I think he had a choice of two. There's one just above the black as well, I think. Yep. So, two cushion position for the black.
16.
yep, there we go. Slightly better position than what he was when he started this break, so it'd be interesting to see if he carries on with it.
It looks like he's running through this.
Yeah, just off straight.
Yeah. And when you looked at the first frame, they missed a couple of shots into this pocket. Whether it was just little bits aside, I don't know, but is he too straight? It looks a bit straight to me. Yeah, it looks like he's screwing back to the cushion and out again.
Well, if he puts this, he should.
There you go. That's that dodgy pocket.
I was going to say he should finish with a decent angle to get into those reds again, but
And also didn't hit it hard enough. You know, didn't come
Yeah,
back far
didn't
enough
get
to
into
get
it.
position. So didn't really trust himself there. But now, has he left a red onto the centre? I don't think so.
and if he didn't, will James create one?
Well,
I think he's.
there's a safety shot there behind. Yeah, he's going the red in the centre. But there was a safety shot there behind the green. He could have just nicked off that.
He may have got away with that. I don't know whether that's low enough for Matthew to pot.
Yeah.
Having
looks
said
like
that, there's
red-
one into the opposite pocket.
Yeah, red, blue. If the blue's on to the centre, that is. Looks like it is. So how good is this live streaming? Really good, isn't it? Gets out to everybody in Australia,
Yep.
sitting at home with a glass of wine.
Oh,
Not having to
they're not
drive.
all as refined as you, mate. Some of them aren't wine drinkers, but it's a nice visual you've painted there.
Yeah, glass of wine, bar of chocolate.
Would you like some background music there, mate?
Well, what a shot that was.
And
What a shot.
don't worry about us and our opinion on
Yeah.
where Matthew was about to pot that red.
Yeah.
The the logical pot was obviously into the yellow
No,
pocket.
He played it to a shot to nothing because it didn't leave anything on. So it was a good shot.
Yeah, that was a cracking shot. Got stuck into the white that time. Not like his first shot. With,
Has he got the wrong angle? It doesn't look. He could go red pink with this, just stun onto those two reds.
He does have the insurance policy in the middle pocket, but I don't think he'll want to take that on just yet.
It looks like he's screwing back. Well, it's either a stun shot or a screw shot. Yeah, screwing back for the blue.
Oh, 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 oh.
He's sort of playing percentage break building at the moment, just making sure he's on something. But nothing's easy. You can knock the blue in, no problem. But positionally, you'd have to come back down the table for the red over the centre. Hello, Neil. How are you?
And as I live and breathe, the Melbourne machine has arrived. No, not Steve Mifsud, he's been here for a while. But Neil Robertson, who at some point will probably be joining us in commentary. Oh no, look. Roger the gentleman has basically stepped aside. I think the mere mention of chocolate and wine has tempted him way too much, and he's made room for Neil. Now, before Neil gets too wired up, I should probably explain a few things about this game, just to make sure he doesn't make any silly comments. You'll see Matthew Bolton here trying to swerve around the yellow to pot the red, or at the very least hit it. But he's plonked straight into the yellow. So
Yeah, Roger, a gentleman as always, giving up a bit of airtime for me to jump on.
yeah, well, you know, he knew what you like with the sound of your own voice, mate. So he put you in there.
Yeah, I just come from my brother's this morning and been watching quite a lot actually so far. Both semi-finals, very good standard, I thought.
Oh, cracking standard with
Yeah.
Matthew with a couple of 130s, and
Was it 126? And
One-
Kurt made 136.
Kurt made a 1-2. No, Matthew made a. No, Geez, I'm lost now. One of the two made a 126 yesterday.
Matthew made 120 something, I think, in the
and then
earlier frames of the semi. And then Kurt made 136 and Matthew made 137.
That's right. And then he followed it up 2 frames later with a 131. You should have been there for that. You could have learnt something.
Yeah, no, it was really good standard. Tables look like they're playing nice too. There's big frame though with Kurt and James. I think in the third frame, wasn't it, where Kurt looked like he was going to clear up for 3-0, and then match just turned on its head after that. And so James recovered really well, and now he's in the final. And Matthew is he trying to win this for the first time? Matthew, he's won it before.
Yeah. So So as you hear, you really haven't won this match until the last ball's dropped when you're playing these guys, because they could be 4-3 down, they could be 4-1 down. You know they're going to put up a fight till right at the end. So
I was talking to Steve a few days ago, last week, when we were both in the UK, and he spoke to Matthew, and he said that Matthew's decided to change his game a bit, try and be a little bit more attacking and concentrate on trying to win frames more in one visit rather than sort of like grind opponents down, because his safety's always been top class over here in Australia, and just needed to add the scoring to his game.
Billiards knowledge.
Yeah, there's no reason why he can't score heavy. He's got great knowledge of the game and everything.
Well, if no one had ever met Matthew before this morning, they'd say that his game's looking pretty sharp. They would have come here and seen him clean up the table a few times and thought, well, this guy's on his way.
Yeah, and he took a bit of time off as well, didn't he? After having a pretty tough year over in the UK on the main tour, where he was always going to be doing it very tough with having a family and everything, and flying back and forth. Ideally, you have to really base yourself in the UK to do well. And,
a situation you're more than familiar with now.
Yeah. I think I'm coming up to my 16th season in a row now, so it's crazy to think how long it is, but yeah, it's
I don't know how you've done it, to be honest. I mean, being away from family is one thing, but being away from Collingwood and the football, that's just like...
That's great.
And I tell you what, that is an absolute cracker from Matthew.
Yeah, the Pie's doing very well, Georgie.
Yes.
Secured top 4 now, which is great.
Yes, thank you to the Hawks.
Yeah, incredible, that result.
It's one thing the Aussies have got to love about you, mate. You could be overseas playing in the biggest tournaments in the world, but tune into Facebook first thing in the morning and there's Neil's commentary on the Collingwood Footy Club. As we see John Moss just getting ready to set up the balls for frame 4 as Matthew takes the third with an epic pot across the table. So how long are you here for, mate?
I'm here for about here until Tuesday night. I'm just over here with Alexander. Miller's off with Penelope in Florida at the moment for a week and a half on holiday
so
as well.
big boys weekend.
So
no, boys trip.
No. Those days long gone now. So yeah, just having some really nice family time with Alexander, my brother, and his 2 boys as well. So. Didn't bring my cue out this year for the first time. Just concentrated purely just on it being a family trip. But yeah, hopefully I'll try and structure to come back more often than what I do. It's
probably not easy for you guys.
No,
you don't get monster gaps between events, do you?
No, we've got a really busy season once it gets up and running. So yeah, to find the gaps to come over is getting harder and harder.
Do you find yourself choosing not to play in certain events just to give yourself that breathing space?
Yeah, well, I didn't play in the World Six Reds because I was going to be over here, and a couple of other sort of like minor tournaments. So it's one of the balancing issues that I have with being an overseas player, is to cut out certain events so I can come back home and try to get as much time in as possible, with family and friends that I haven't seen for a long time.
Frame 4.
Are they playing this table in the pit table?
Yes.
Yep.
Quiet, please.
A table I'm sure you're familiar with. Probably
Yeah,
would have
it
played a
was-
couple of matches on this one, wouldn't he?
Yeah, but I always remember playing at the old RACV club with the number 1 table there, I think, which is
Ooh, I think
situated
you're
in a
testing
different
the memories
spot.
of a few people there,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I remember when first couple of years I was coming back to Melbourne when I was over in the UK, coming back to Melbourne and practicing a lot with Dave Collins at the old RACV club on the number 1 table there, and that was always a really good table to play on. And also like the Brunswick Club, obviously number 1 tables, one of the best tables in Australia. So they were always good places to come back to and play. The pit table I've only played a couple of matches on, I think, when it was the City of Melbourne, a couple of times.
Well, these two are no stranger to the table, and Matthew's just opened his account with a red into the corner. Hasn't landed ideally, but from what we've seen in the first 3 frames, I don't think Matthew will be playing safe off this blue. I think at this point, safety just is not an option on the table for these two.
Yeah, I saw that with the was it the last frame with James? He went for a really risky red when he had a safety shot on, but trying to sort of make his intent clear that he wants it to be an open game. Interesting to see how it unfolds.
Okay, well, Matthew's time at the table was a little short-lived, so let's see what we can get out of Jimmy this time.
It's the blue. No.
A lot of work to do now with the blue off its spot.
Yeah, the perfect colour to go into the pack would be either the brown or the yellow. I don't know if the green passes the blue. This is quite a tricky shot against the nap, going across the nap. Yeah, it's a very tough shot, that. Can't really put anything on the white to try and control it. You just have to hope that the table sort of stays straight. Could play a thick safety here, or he's playing a thin one, him trying to get in behind the blue.
That's not a Jackie there, is it? No.
No, he's trying to get in behind the blue. Line's pretty good. It's not
Yeah,
quite
I
hard
think it's
enough.
probably a fraction short.
Yeah.
No damage done, but
Still a decent shot.
yeah, hell of a lot of pressure if Matthew was to be playing from behind that blue.
Just needs to be careful not to push a red over the left corner pocket as we see it. Yeah, good shot.
And that
Just
looks
under
like
hit
it's slowing
slightly,
down
or
behind the blue,
perfect?
behind the brown. Sorry.
He'll be playing off this red very thin because he doesn't want to, sort of like a 4-ball plant that might push a red towards the corner next to the black, so you want to make sure he hits these reds very thin.
He's playing off the second red.
Might be playing the figure 8, very dangerous.
Ooh.
Ooh, we got lucky.
I think that kiss, the kiss off that eventual red, helped Jimmy along there. Definitely got him up a lot higher than what he would have been otherwise.
Matthew can put him in trouble here though. He wants to leave the white in the
Probably behind the blue.
bottom. No, he wants to leave it in the bottom left-hand side. Sort of try and use the yellow to block James like this. He's just overdone it slightly. He wanted to underscrew it by another few inches and he would have had James in a lot of trouble there.
Sound like you know a bit about this game, Neil. You might actually have a future in this game.
Yeah, when you play against the pros, and I mean, when I first went over, I was very attacking and didn't know anything about safety, and play people like John Higgins and Ken Doherty and players like that who just have you on the top cushion all the time. You need to learn about different ways of creating scoring opportunities, and that's a great shot.
That's
Great shot.
fantastic from Jimmy. It's definitely a different level of safety over there, isn't it? It's not just plonk your guy on the cushion and
Yeah.
hope that he cannons into 2 or 3 reds. It's really covering packs and
Yeah, it's all about blocking angles and playing safety, not so much to get yourself out of trouble, but to really put the other guy in trouble. So sometimes you're better off refusing a long pot in favour of opening up the red stick off a safety and knowing that you're going to get a really good white and make him have to attempt a really tough long red. And I think it's probably something that Matthew struggled with, is that his safety over here is very good, where he knows that if he keeps playing safe, then somebody will
there'll be some cracks somewhere.
somebody will hit one thick, or catch one of the Bolt colours where, you know, the top players over in the UK don't ever hit the Bolt colours when they play safe, and so that was probably something that Matthew had to kind of adjust to, where it's such a big strength of his over here, whereas over there, you know, the players are very well equipped, you know, to deal with really good safety players.
Just saw
That's been
Matthew
unlucky.
narrowly miss a shot on the red there. Do you think we'll see Matthew have another stint overseas in the near future, Neil?
I don't know. I think that I think he'd love to have a serious crack at it, but I think it's the issue when, you know,
Family.
obviously with his son and his wife and stuff like that, and he would have to uproot and move to the UK if he wanted to have a really good crack at it. You know, maybe give it a really good 2 years and see what he can achieve.
Yeah,
And I think he's openly said himself that it is, you know, it's just really tough at this stage in his life, I think, so.
Yeah, success isn't going to come in 6 months or 12 months, is it? You really got to
Yeah, I mean,
plonk the roots down there,
yeah,
don't you?
and especially the first year is, you know, you're just coming to grips with everything. You're learning what all the tour is about, and, you know, adjusting to different venues and things like that. And I think, you know, Kurt started to come really good in the second half of his second season, where he started to get some really good results. You know, he beat Ryan Day in the Welsh Open on the #1 table on TV in front of, you know, millions of people around the world.
Yeah, that would have been a
absolutely
buzz for Kurt.
fantastic.
That would have been an absolute
So I was
buzz.
really pleased for him that at least he had that moment to take away with him. You know, he won a few rounds in the shootout, so he was starting to win matches and compete really well with really good players. But by the time he kind of adjusted, it's too late, and then he needs to re-qualify again for the main tour, so, which is one of the big challenges for an overseas player, especially from Australia.
Seems to be developing a bit of a love for the 6-red game.
Kurt?
Yeah, he loves it.
Won the 6 Reds, and yeah, so he'll be heading over to Thailand pretty soon, I think.
He's a little bit filthy on Matthew this morning.
And for the highest break?
Yeah, for the high rate. He said to me, he goes, "Oh, bloody Bolton cost me the next frame because I was watching him hoping that he'd miss instead of concentrating on beating Jimmy."
Yeah, he would have been glancing over for sure,
Yeah, he was.
hoping he'd miss on the colours or something.
Unfortunately, he missed the smug little smile from Matthew Bolton as he walked around his table looking for him.
And Matthew is like that as well. He's a super competitor. Another one who loves all his sport, loves his cricket and Aussie rules as well. Obviously a world-class billiards player, one of the best billiards players in the world.
Yeah, it's a shame that there isn't much of a living to be made out of playing billiards, because he'd definitely be up there. Like,
Yeah,
what is he, in the
absolutely.
top 6 or something in the world at the moment?
Yeah, I've spoken to a few of the Indian boys, like Pankaj rates Matthew very highly, definitely sees him as one of the best in the world. Yeah, I guess it's just hard maybe, you know, on TV as a, you know, to sell that kind of product when you're seeing lots of nursery cannons and things like that. You're not really seeing so much. But in India, obviously, it's absolutely huge. It's, you know, the second most popular sport behind cricket.
Cricket, yep.
And you know, so I know the Indian guys do very well. Pankaj especially, you know, does very well for himself over there. Peter Gilchrist, I think, as well, who is a Singapore national now.
Yep.
You know, does very well. I think a lot of countries really reward their players, like with Gilchrist and Pankaj, when they do really well in the IBSF events. You know, if they get gold medals, silver medals, they get substantial bonuses off the government for that. And over here in Australia, obviously, you know, it's not the case. There's a lot of other sports that take priority over Q sports, unfortunately, for now. And
Maybe we've got to get the ScoMo over to the Nationals or a big tournament in Albury.
just need to
Putting it out there,
qualifying
guys,
it
if
for
you
Olympic sport would be
if you know how to contact our Prime Minister, maybe put a cue in his hand and tell him to go down to the commercial club or to the RACV club and hit a few balls around.
Yeah, getting into the Olympics is what it's all about. The funds really open up from then on in, and you know, you got quite a lot of security for the sport for a long time. Obviously, Chris Christofi is doing just incredible things. You know, giving all the players in Australia just an unbelievable opportunity at amateur level, and you know, something
Ooh,
I'm sure many players are very grateful for.
unlikely miss for a safety shot by Matthew there. Tried to come off thin off that red on the cushion, but he's missed it and gone into the back of the pack, and he's opened another 3 reds for Jimmy and given him a solid chance here.
Interesting to see if he plays for the gap, so he can pop the black.
Well, he's got it
No.
if he wants it.
I thought he might just stun it down a couple inches rather than trying to play for one of these colours, because it's a good chance to get the black back on its spot.
Yeah, I think he'd want to get the blue down there as well. Probably not an immediate priority, but I'm sure he'd like it on the spot as opposed to where it is now.
Oops, double kiss. Needs a double kiss. He didn't get it. Yeah.
And
And sometimes what happens when you don't take the chance to, get the black back on its spot, you run out of chances, and yeah, it was a pretty poor shot there by James. The bad shot was actually the green, because he wanted to leave himself straighter on the red.
hey, Neil, hold on to your hat, mate, because we've got the one and only Dale Kennedy who's just tuned in, mate, saying that he's loving the comments. Dale, the comments love you as much as you love the comments, mate. So good to have you here with us.
Yes, Dale, remember, yeah, very funny guy. Remember
the man with the magical waistcoats. And a hell of a rider too. I don't know if you'd...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was a very funny guy. I remember him from the juniors and stuff like that, and kept in touch. Very good junior player was Dale. Gave me a few hidings.
We have seen a little bit of Kennedy, Dale Kennedy, in the very recent past. He's making something of a comeback. So, Dale, we know you're listening, mate. Make sure you stick around because the game needs you. You're somewhere between Snooker's Ronnie O'Sullivan and Robin Williams.
Gone a little bit scrappy now.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of unexpected misses.
Black's in quite an awkward spot as well. Blue down the table, pink not on its spot. Well, sort of covered by the reds.
Quiet, please.
Don't know what he's looking at here. Maybe the red in the middle, possibly go down, get onto the blue maybe. Yeah.
Yep, that's gone in nice and clean. I think we'll see him rolling up off the brown behind the green.
No, he'll be going for the yellow. Pretty sure it definitely passes the blue.
Again, we're all in.
Don't know if he's going to swing the white around or come off one cushion and just play for the red.
He's getting the white ball cleaned again. This is the 3rd time. So someone's leaving some chalk behind.
What do most of the players in Australia use now? Do they use the Tome chalk or do they still use the triangle chalk?
I have seen a few of the guys using the Tome chalk. I think the vast majority, correct me if I'm wrong guys, get on there and leave your comments, are still using the triangle chalk, but there is a presence of Tome chalk.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I think it's the best thing to enter snooker in probably since table heaters, I think.
Yeah.
It's just amazing stuff. I've been using it for a couple of years now. I haven't had a single kick or big bounce off a cushion for 2 years. My practice table. Obviously, some of the guys prefer still the triangle. They feel as though they get better grip with it. But
And that's even amongst the pros?
yeah. Ronnie and Judd still like the triangle. I don't know if Ronnie's waiting for some endorsement deal for Tome to maybe make the switch.
Probably.
Probably.
Ronnie doesn't get out of bed until there's a $100 or £100 note outside his front door. But yeah, it's pretty pricey stuff though, isn't it? It's like $30
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean it lasts a long time though, and I think it just depends on how serious you are about snooker. And I think if you're, what really helps is if both players are using it in a match. If one's still using the triangle chalk and one's using the term chalk, then
Defeats the purpose.
yeah, in a way, it depends how many shots the player is getting that's using the triangle chalk. If I'm using term against somebody who's using a triangle chalk, and if they're not having much table time, then it doesn't really matter so much.
Speaking of table time, we're just waiting for referee John Moss to get Matthew the long stuff.
No extended rest. That's the short one, isn't it?
There you go.
Is that long enough? Yeah, it should be.
Yeah. There you go.
Remember the days before the extensions, George, at the Brunswick Club? Felt
Oh,
like
yes.
you're playing with a big
absolutely.
fishing rod.
Big fishing rod with 3,000 dints running through it.
Yeah.
And
And about a 15mm tip. Try and screw the ball back.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure there've been many a 9-ball cue that have been vandalised for the sake of putting tips on those things. Occasionally you'd chalk one up for the sake of playing a shot. I'm pretty sure they're still there if you go there.
Ooh. I think he just tried to create a bit of angle with that shot.
Yeah.
He was probably kissing into the black naturally, so just try to pinch a bit of the pocket.
Dale Kennedy stating that he's a work in progress. Never a truer word spoken, Dale. Can't wait for the finished product. Okay, so
Yeah, it was a bit tough, that. It
I
was a
think
tough shot.
I think both players would want to see the back end of this frame.
Yeah, sometimes this happens though. When you've got two players playing each other and both start missing a couple of balls, you can kind of bring each other down and
Lose your
just,
rhythm.
Yeah, you just need one player to make a big break and then might spark the other player into life a bit. And
I think it's just a matter of regaining
It's just a
composure
bounce.
now.
Oh, he's perfect on
He's
this.
got a beautiful angle here.
Yeah, nice little medium pace cannon into the pack. Doesn't really need to hit them too hard. They'll open
The
up
middle red of
naturally.
those three.
Yeah. You don't want to glance off though too much. No, you hit the
Oh,
wrong red
no.
there. Hit the wrong red, yeah. You had to,
I think the best thing that could happen to Matthew here is if the referee says it's a touching ball.
yeah. If it's not touching, he could be in a bit of trouble.
And John Moss having a look from every angle and has given Matthew no joy. Joy here, no.
You might just glance off one of the reds if it's not touching ball though, and leave the white maybe in the corner of the black pocket. Yeah, no serious damage done there. He'll be disappointed though not to win the frame from that visit and go 3-1 up.
Yeah.
Big frame this one.
Yeah, not much has been done from this frame. It's 26 points all up. And that's from 7 reds. So
Yeah, it's a pretty decent shot. Although Matthew can just cross double this red twice across and get the white back down. Yeah,
Ooh.
that's a good shot. A bit unlucky actually to put the black on the cushion, but he's played that about as well as you can do.
Yeah, solid white. I think you'll see, I was going to say James playing off the red next to the pink, but
Yeah,
he can actually see these 2 reds, so hopefully the second red doesn't come up too high. And
Yeah, he's left Matthew half a chance at a red. Not easy though. He'll be probably screwing this, maybe screwing off the second red and getting back down to balk. I don't know how he feels about this shot.
Oh,
great
that's a
shot.
fantastic
That's a great
shot.
shot.
And this should pull up for the brown, but I think he'll be taking the yellow.
Yeah. It's a bit unlucky where he's
Yeah.
landed, actually. The yellow's a bit thin. Like it's
Yeah,
missable.
yeah.
You know, and the brown, it's a little bit awkward maybe with the rest. The yellow's probably the shot to guarantee a good position. One of the two reds probably in the left middle.
Daniel McPherson, I do like your idea. Maybe we could do a live crossover to Dale Kennedy.
Depends what state he's in.
I'm gonna hit. Yeah, I'm gonna hit Dan Lynch up to see if he could wire him up, but I promise you nothing.
Ooh,
Yeah.
just about crept in.
He's played that with some nice touch. Still,
Yeah, a lot of work to do.
awkward bridging.
Mm.
Black out of commission.
I don't think the next pot is too much problem. It's just the obviously the pink's tied up with the
I was
reds
going to
there.
say I don't think the pink is on either. So
Just have to sort of pick off what he can get here.
4.
and I think
Ooh, he's just about on the blue,
Ooh.
I think. Depends how he is on this. This might be quite thin to hold for the red. That's sort of like closest to the bolt. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is
there you
really
go.
thin. It's amazing the
another great angle from Cue Ball TV.
Yeah, brilliant. It's amazing the different angles though. You know, you see one angle and you think he's straighter on the blue than what it looks, and then you know this is very thin, and he's going to do
Yeah.
well just to miss the green here really.
So should be interesting to
Lot
see
of,
if he uses a world of side.
Bottom right hand
Yeah.
side. Yeah, he's played that.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's overcooked it, but I think he needed to do that to make sure of the pot. Couldn't really be pulling back on that.
So 23 in front and got one red on the
5
side
reds,
cushion,
6 reds.
black on the top cushion. So Matthew's in a pretty strong position here.
65.
Depends how aggressive he
67
wants to be
points.
with this shot. Actually, he could open up the reds and get the white in behind the brown and the green, or he could just play it a bit more safe and then get the white on the cushion. Oh no, you could see the pot. Wow. Oh, that's a great shot. If the pink goes in the middle, that's a really good shot. Could open up the whole frame and go 3-1 up from this.
Well, he is closer to the pink than he is the red, so maybe there is a chance that the pink is on. He's definitely giving it a serious look.
Yeah, maybe a
Okay.
touch of left-hand side.
Dan is just showing off now with all his camera angles. So we look forward to the next tournament where Dan will have pocket cam.
Pocket cam.
Yeah, don't want to drop you in too deep, Dan, but just on the Christmas wish list. And that's
Yeah,
that's
well,
handy having the pink on the black spot now.
the guy who fits them for the BBC told me how much they cost, and absolutely blew me away. I could not believe it.
Okay, so there we go. Neil Robertson is actually sponsoring Cue Ball TV in their quest of having pocket cam.
So if we do see them, then Cue Ball TV has been doing very well.
So what can Matthew make of this? Will he take it straight through to the end?
Oh, that's actually a
Ooh,
really poor shot from
an
Matthew there.
unwanted kiss. And
didn't
that's
need it.
put him in a little bit of bother.
Yeah, he didn't need to play it that hard actually.
Right. So he can't see the one that is hidden behind the blue, and if he's going to play safe off the one closest to the pink, he's hampered by the green. So
Actually, on the pocket cam, when I played Jimmy White at the Masters, the first time I ever played on TV, I went out to the arena and I had a look at the table, you know, the day before I went out to play him, and I saw these two sort of black circles in both of the black pockets, and I thought, oh my goodness, what is this? And so went up
you must have
closer
thought
to
they
the
were
table.
targets for you to hit.
and saw they were little cameras, and the first time I played on them, I just couldn't adjust to seeing the two sort of black circles in the pockets, because obviously over in the UK on the Riley tables back then, you know, had very pale sort of leather pockets. You know, in
Yeah.
Australia you used to like the darker pockets as well. And my first few matches on TV, I just couldn't adjust to it. So I thought about getting like a Sharpie pen on my practice table in Cambridge and actually drawing little circles on both the black pockets just so I could get used to it visually.
If memory serves me correct, you probably couldn't afford a Sharpie pen in your first season, mate.
I didn't in the end, but I was very close to doing it.
James having a lash at that one. He's
Yeah.
probably going to regret that after this frame, but
I don't think he could...
many funny things have happened in the later stages of these frames so far.
I think he tried to screw back further than what he did there. I think it was meant to
definitely.
be more of a shot to nothing. He just didn't get a hold of it as well as he would have wanted to. But it did put pressure on that shot because he developed, the whole situation really. And the only tricky ball is the red. And James wouldn't even need the black anyway. But in saying that, Matthew's got very lucky there.
Yeah, he's gotten away with murder there. Actually, speaking of the pocket cams, they must be inset under the lip of the pocket, because you would have thought something that small at some point would have been smashed by a ball. But they must be.
Yeah, they cut like a hole in the leather to squeeze it in there, and it's a good sort of inch or so inside, I think, the pocket. So the ball never makes contact at all with it.
Because you do notice the thicker leather on the top pockets.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
That's a good shot.
Matthew just picking away at whatever's loose at the moment. Something tells me we are going to see a safety shot here
Yeah,
for the first time in quite a while.
and with his billiard skills, you would expect this to be tightened behind the green off the brown here.
He has left Jimmy the red next to the black, I feel.
Sort of suggesting to us that it just rolled across the nap a little bit there. Maybe that's one of the lines of the slate is. It's always tricky actually rolling across when you're trying to roll up behind one of the bulk colours, because the white can go over one of the lines of slate and can make the white do that. James is not really taking advantage of.
Yeah, he could be playing from behind the blue now.
Yeah, he should be. Shouldn't have any problems with this, with the ball rolling off, because he's just going straight up the table.
You fancy Matthew might make the cannon here from red to blue?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
there you go. And now Jimmy finds himself in licorice all sorts.
Yeah, just a really. Is he hitting this hard? Yeah,
I was going to say, is he going to go the old Judd Trump and
maybe just a little bit frustrated there?
That's
Jimmy.
not bad, actually. That could have been a lot worse. But he has.
I think he's a bit frustrated. Wants this frame to be over with, so he can maybe try and just recompose himself a bit. And
Yeah, he'd be looking forward to the break, which may be happening after this frame. Is there a break after the fourth frame?
One.
hasn't played that particularly well, but I mean the blues on the cushion, blacks on the top cushion. Depends how Matthew feels here. He could even put one of the bulk colours on the cushion to really make it mission impossible for James to get back into the frame. Just depends how he feels, really.
I'm surprised if he leaves the pink there, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
Yeah, that's nice. Matthew just choosing to play the follow through, knowing that the green will be held up by the brown.
Still in the frame here, James, so it's important he just tries to play as good a shot as he can. He was a little bit frustrated when the shot before, the three reds, and
Well, with the pink on its spot, he's always a chance now. I mean, the blue's out of commission and the black's out of commission, so
the shot's probably just to get the extended rest out and try and come on and off the bolt cushion and just rest on that red that's kind of closest to the centre pocket. If Matthew knocks the red in down the rail, then, you know, so be it, but at least make Matthew have to pot a good shot rather than, you know, maybe get a little bit frustrated and just lead and kind of just hand the frame to him.
Yep, Matthew just cashing that second last red and putting it out of reach for Jimmy. And if he pots this, it'll ease a lot of his tension. And there it is. Can't really see Matthew giving this one away at this stage.
No, it's 3 snookers and the black's in a terrible spot on the table, so I wouldn't be surprised if James concedes after this. I'm not too sure.
I think he's going to be behind the blue. Behind the blue.
James Mifsud.
And the red hard up on the brown. I don't think that was anywhere near what James was trying to achieve, and he's left Matthew a relatively easy red into the corner.
One.
And I think we're going to be heading into the break with Matthew having a 3-1 lead.
3-1.
Did I say something else? Oh, okay. I thought I said something else.
8.
Okay. So Matthew misses the brown, but not important. He's secured the 4th frame, and a bit of a handy lead now as the
There'll be a 15-minute break.
boys just get ready to have a 15-minute break. So don't go too far, guys. The boys will be back soon.
Let's talk about a more prosperous tomorrow.
Maybe you should up the
A
volume on your
tomorrow where
F-bomb.
finances, property investments, property management, accounting, and financial planning are looked after in an exceptional capacity, all under the same roof. When hiring Reventon, you are hiring a team of professionals to support you in your investment and financial decisions. Your future is Reventon's future. So, let's talk about a more prosperous tomorrow, today.
it's like an earthquake. I know sometimes you literally feel the floor shaking. Yeah, it's funny. No, I didn't know where I was years ago when I moved here. Yeah, but
Yeah.
There's a rules.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been on the.
So look at that copy of the Excel sheet. So.
No, it's on iBooks.
Yeah. How do
You
you
get
get
an
iBooks? Is it?
iBooks.
iBooks.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Pay for it. Yeah.
no, it's free.
Free on
Yeah,
iBooks.
it's free. Yeah.
That's nice.
I wasn't going to make out of it.
I used the table templates.
Yeah.
Time for a quick demo of billiards.
Yeah. 1,000 up?
Just 1,000.
What do you think of the old world magic circle versus drop cannon?
Oh, magic circle, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
You got to get there.
Yeah, you got to get there.
Why don't people?
But if you don't get one there, you can always drop the other ball down and play the drop cannon.
Yeah. Well, why don't people play that way these days?
They play too many drop cannons.
You reckon?
Everyone plays too many drop cannons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Get the balls over. If you get the balls over the middle pocket,
Yeah.
drop one down, pop the red. And if you don't get one up when you're playing it off, you've got one there, then you drop that down and play the drop cannon.
Yeah.
But always playing to get both balls over the middle bags.
So drop
And then you'll keep
second.
scoring because you've got something, you're working on something, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for, you know, if you can't get them there, then yeah, put them for a drop cannon. But
Big players are
always,
worried about, trying to get over the pocket with the in-offs.
yeah,
Do it that way.
yeah,
And worried about missing the in-off.
yeah, yeah. Well, if you worry about missing them,
Yeah.
that's another major issue.
Yeah. That is billiards, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
you're not. What's the player? Dominic, you know. Everybody was right to came. Different table, James. No, I think it's just where it was.
There's some stories of the old boys in the days. You know, they used to play against non-smokers. Yeah. And they'd do like smoke straight under the lights the whole game.
That's how I grew up.
Yeah.
Just didn't work. It was
Part of playing football.
Yes.
Is that introduced now? The problem?
I know. Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I know.
The filter starts burning out of it.
Really dry.
Is your 50 minutes?
Yeah.
Yep. Is it up?
Yep.
Thank you very much, guys. Your patience is much appreciated.
Frame 5, Matthew Bolton leads 3 frames to 1. Matthew.
Okay, guys, and we're back for the second session of the final of the 2019 Australian National Snooker Championship between Matthew Bolton and James Mifsud. Nothing particularly outstanding in the first 4 frames, but Matthew has managed to scrap away and build a 3-1 lead. Haven't yet seen the breaks that we saw in the morning session from Matthew, who had 137 clearance against Charlie Chafe and backed up again by a 131 clearance only 2 frames later. The break building so far hasn't been there, but regardless, there's been a few beautiful pots and some scrappy safety, and still a good final to watch. We're just experiencing the virtues of the uncovered commentary box with a few of the RACV punters coming past and expressing a few opinions. Thankfully, the walls at the RACV club between the bar and the snooker room are pretty thick, so it won't faze the boys at all. So Matthew has the first red of the 5th frame. It's been an aggressive final so far. Not too much safety being played. As we see Matthew missing a bit of a tricky pink into the middle pocket and opening up the floodgates for James to come in and hopefully score a few points. James just narrowly making it to the right side of the blue there. James overrunning that a little bit. I think he's still got a shot on this red though. And he'll be getting back for that blue. Again, important that he gets past that middle pocket so he can continue coming back for the reds in the pack. So James on the only red that seems to be above the black. So not an easy one by any stretch, but we know that he'll play it well and hopefully give himself an angle, which he has, to pot the black and maybe nudge one of the closer reds out of the way. It would appear that Neil Robertson has actually called up his entire fan club today to make an appearance at the RACV club, and you might be able to hear in the background that all 7 of them have actually turned up. So if there's a little bit of background noise, it's not static. It's just little Robertsonites. So looks like Matthew has left James a shot to nothing, which no doubt he'll go for. He hasn't really attacked that one, to be honest. He's pulled up very short and hit that very thick, so not sure what quite happened there. But he's given Matthew a chance to get back in here. That's a great pot by Matthew. Probably not what a lot of us thought he was going to play. Probably thought he was going to play one of the closer reds. But it's given him a good look into the black to disturb a couple of these reds. And will we see the first sizable break of the final? Still in good shape. Ideally, Matthew will clear the one red sitting on its own closest to the black, which will eventually open the 2 balls that are actually blocked to that pocket. He's played for it, but he's overrun it. He's not happy with it. He's taking on the red to the middle. This is dangerous because the balls are onto the middle pocket if he doesn't get down far enough. And it looked like he knew he'd missed it from the second it left, so the big break wasn't to be. But let's see what the response from Jimmy is here. Probably a blessing in disguise not having the pink on its spot just yet. So Jimmy's played that blue perfectly to avoid the kiss on the yellow. Slightly better angle on the black for Jimmy than what Matthew found himself in. Well, that's deceptive because it looked like an angle that Jimmy could definitely reach.
Yeah, nice shot.
Well, now that the annoying red is out of the way, hopefully Jimmy can get down to it and score some points here. Get himself within one frame of Matthew. And to say that was unexpected would be an understatement. I think Jimmy will have a look at these two. They look close to being on. He will have to give it something if he does go for it though, just so he can avoid the kiss on the black. No, he hasn't gone for it. He has gone the safety, although it's a pretty loose one. He's almost come back out of balk. Just seeing a message here from Mohammed, sending out a cheerio, so hello to you, buddy. Matthew has himself a chance on a long red. And he's left James off the hook, and he might have left this. It's a chance, but it's not an easy one by any stretch. Looks like James is looking for an avenue out, but might be contemplating the snooker behind the black. Still needs a couple of reds here. Yeah, and he's really jabbed at that and not got anything on the cue ball. So we might see a sudden burst of performance from James here as Big Brother approaches the microphone. Steve Mifsud, no stranger to this tournament at all. And as I say that, James puts a massive red into the corner pocket. Doesn't finish ideal on the black, but always a chance. Good afternoon, Steve.
Yes, hello George. Hello everyone. Crucial frame for James, I feel. He's got to get this frame on the board.
Yeah, 2-3 down would be a hell of a lot better than 4-2. Sorry, 4-1 for James. The black's the only colour on its spot at this stage, so it's pretty scrappy, which at this stage would probably favour James. That's a big pot by James.
Yeah, so 30 in front, 36 after this pink.
Yeah, he's just checking out the scoreboard now, doing the maths in his head.
It's not guaranteed. Obviously, Matthew's only gonna need one snooker from here, so he's got to put in a really good safety.
Yeah, we were saying in the second session, Steve, while Neil was here, that Matthew's knowledge of the white ball and his control never puts him out of a frame when he needs a snooker. So
he's got to. Basically, James has got to snooker him really to keep control of the frame, and I think he's done that there. It's a bit tricky to say whether he can get through.
Yeah, there might be a slight gap
the
there.
Camera angle, but he's definitely limited Matthew's options here anyway. So it looks like he's playing through, so he can. Well,
if that gets him behind the brown, that's a pretty solid shot. That's very solid.
Yeah, so very tricky situation. It's one red left, only one snooker. It's still anyone's game, so James has got to be very careful what he does here. He was thinking about the swerve, but I think it was a bit too much.
I think the brown's covering way too much of that.
Well, it's possible. It is a possible swerve, but he'd have to hit it too softly, which I feel would leave Matthew a chance for a snooker back. So.
Oh, and he's just glanced past the red.
Yeah, so
and luckily not left the free ball. But it puts Matthew back in the frame.
Are you sure it's not a free ball?
Mildly confident.
So back in the frame. Yeah, obviously not a free ball because Matthew would be playing the black as we speak if it was, but looks like he's taking this red on. No?
No.
Another snooker behind the yellow.
Back to the billiards knowledge, putting James under pressure. Dale Kennedy wanting to know where Joel is. Fair guess would probably be somewhere in Geelong, mate. So hi to Joel, and as we
So James has missed there again. Another 5-point penalty.
actually, I think the referee has almost put the blue exactly where it was by accident there.
Tricky situation here, because if James makes contact the way he's going, and it's a thickish contact, I think the red's not going anywhere, so he's going to leave white and red close together. The red's going to be a big chance to kiss into the brown. So unless he gets this red thin, in which case then it might work out well, but it'd be interesting to see. I'm pretty sure James will hit it on this attempt. But it's going to be interesting to see what Matthew's going to be left with. So the only ball's the yellow, really, that's safe-ish. So
He's played pretty much an identical shot.
Missed again.
In danger of leaving the free ball now, but I think it's going to pull up short. And now that Matthew is in the frame,
well, it's not guaranteed, George. I think John Moss is going to put a ball up here. It looks very close. So this is a huge swing either way if it's a free ball here. He's got to put a ball up. Yeah. Got to put a ball marker or the ball. Yeah, he's has to have
we can't hear it from here, but we're pretty positive that referee John Moss would have called a miss.
Too hard for us to call it with the camera angle, but he's had one look at that, so he knows what it is. So it's not a free ball. Cue ball's going back. Yeah, surprised James missed 2 in a row there. You'd think he must be trying to get that thin one that I'm talking about, so that's why he's missing it underneath. Because if he catches the red thin, then he's a good chance of getting the red in between brown and blue and leaving a bit of distance between cue ball and red. So yeah, big shot in the frame here, how this one turns out.
I think that one's...
So he's missed the brown, but he's caught it way too thick. And
what's the result on the green?
He's left it over the middle. So yeah.
With an angle for the pink and black as well.
So that's really just the yellow here that Matthew's got to, if he can get, just finish a foot or so behind that yellow, and he's looking good for a clearance. Two cushions, running side. I was actually thinking he might screw off one cushion there, but both these guys have won one national each, so whoever wins today will
have a second.
We'll make it two nationals, so a lot at stake here. They're both, everyone wants to win the national championship, and
so what does Matthew play here, Steve? What's his next shot?
I feel he'll just run. Well, he's going to try and snooker James behind the brown, but I was thinking he'd run through in between pink and black with the cue ball and try and put the yellow up near the brown, but he's tried a couple of sort of got down for 2 different shots, and both of those shots aren't the shot I'm thinking of. So maybe it's not on. Maybe I'm seeing a different angle on the screen.
Ref warning for time wasting.
Yeah. Well, he's got so many options here, and he's just intent on just keeping James under pressure and not giving him any sort of look in at all.
He's definitely taken his time on choosing this shot, so... Oh, that's massive. That is absolutely massive.
There you go. Great shot.
So his reward is a very good position on the green.
Yeah, that's a great putt into a blind pocket.
And if he does manage to pitch this frame, it'll really hurt James.
Yeah, just a matter of holding himself together here. Not much to do with a cue ball. He'll be stunning a few inches either way.
The balls only a couple of minutes ago were just miles off their spots, but they're not that far off now. So, I mean, there was next to nothing on its spots. So 7 behind. Still needs them all. Overrun it slightly, but I don't think it's hurt him too much.
It's no problem really, just
It's off the side cushion.
off the side. Black into the same pocket, I think. Yep. Perfect.
When he's played that dead weight.
Well, I cannot believe that. I just cannot believe. I don't know what happened there, if that was a kick, or I cannot believe what happened. Kick? Was it a kick?
No.
No kick?
No, it didn't look like a kick, but I thought he would have probably punched it, because that's a massive shift in momentum. I mean, he had basically a 4-1 lead guaranteed, and now he's only one in front. So Jimmy will be counting his blessings on that one.
That's incredible. Yeah, I don't know what to say really, but couldn't have played the pink any better than that, really.
Yeah. Oh, look, he was ideal after the pink. I mean, the black wasn't on its spot; it was probably a couple of inches below, but he still finished absolutely plumb. You'd never back against Matthew to miss that black.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to say.
Should be interesting to see
Yeah, the next frame.
how this affects the next frame.
The rest of the match, it's been really high standard today. I don't know if you've spoken about it on the commentary, but the two semi-finals were just, I watched both, and fantastic standard. The way Kurt started, 70 and 136, first two frames, I thought.
Yeah, it just seemed like two
Going to take stopping.
heavyweights going at it from different tables.
And then James came back really, really well. And the other match was Charlie sort of started that way. And Matthew got back into it, and then he started scoring well. Knocked off the 136, made a 137.
Charlie was a little unfortunate in that semi-final.
Yeah, there was
The second frame,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were
Yeah.
they were all tied up after Charlie cleared the table, and Matthew ended up fluking the black
Yeah,
to get himself a small lead.
This table is playing a bit sluggish, though, I think. I mean, James should have adapted by now, but he's only reached the balk line there, so he's gifted Matthew a nice opportunity to start off here.
And he's been making these all weekend.
Yeah.
And that's no exception.
One. White, please.
Matthew will be kicking himself after missing that black. He won't want to be giving Jimmy too many more chances like that. Come on. So Matthew's potted a nice yellow and got himself prime position on this red. Should see if that actually results in a sizable break.
Well, it looks like Matthew's put it behind him, that Miss Black, pretty quickly. He's straight back in now. Potted that good long red, and he's got a nice opportunity here to build a good lead in the 6th frame.
Yeah, I think this is the shot for Matthew to get a nice angle on the black and see if he can develop a couple of reds. He does have a loose one at the bottom of the pack, but he'd love a few more.
So the shot a lot of the professionals play now is finishing low on this red and then screwing off the pack. Maybe going up for the blue, screwing off the pack. So yeah, I think he's tried to do that. So he's just finished nice and low. Looks pretty good to me. So he's going to try and screw off this. Go up for blue and maybe dislodge a few more reds.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, Steve, how James had managed to get on the perfect side of the blue every single time he potted a red. Matthew hasn't done that this time around, so it's in and out of balk he goes, unless he just decides to cash it and play safe, but there are no reds there for him now.
That's okay.
Ooh. He's
Yeah.
put some serious work on that. And
I don't think anything's...
ooh, there we go. We weren't
One's-
expecting that. And,
One's popped out.
he'll definitely be wanting to attack this now. Played the dead weight again.
Yeah,
Come up for
perfect.
him this time.
Perfect. And another opportunity to go into the cluster of reds. Take some shot to get enough power to break them open, but he might be able to knock another one out, or maybe two.
It does say something though about Matthew, because it was a dead weight shot into the corner that cost him the last frame, but he's still going for them. He's potted the black as clean as he can this time, but he's created a bit of distance there, hasn't he?
Yeah, he went for the power there, which he sort of sacrificed a bit of accuracy going into him and gone into balk, but he's still got an opportunity here. This seems like he could play it two ways, stunning it in or running through off two cushions.
I think the billiards player in him will roll it through.
Yeah.
So he's got himself a handy lead. But clearly not enough yet to be safe.
Well, he's choosing to go into him here, I feel. He's going to try and get that ball, that red ball, half ball. It got a bit too thick. No, I think he was going for that red, but just wanted to get a half ball and then stun off the cush, but just got a bit too much screw. And
Not sure there might be a red on into the middle. It's hard to tell from this angle.
Well, the way he's looking at it, I think he's definitely on it. So, and he's down straight away. So this goes. So this could be turn into a frame-winning chance now.
Got a few options here, so I think you might be going for the one on the outside to the right, near the middle pocket. Probably play for the pink here, Steve.
I'm not sure, George. I think he's got too much angle to hold for the pink. Going down for a ball colour, I think. Probably the brown. Well, you're right, George. There wasn't that angle that I thought, so staying on the pink.
It's bound to happen sooner or later, mate. Still, the reds are a bit tricky. I don't think that red is covering the pink spot, but it's going to be in a bit of trouble once Matthew pots this pink. Really
You have to say it's a great response after missing the black he did.
Oh, absolutely. And that dead weight red that he played with the long stuff to get the kiss on the black really showed that it hadn't rattled him, missing that black in the previous frame. Still, you look at the scoreboard and the amount of table time that Matthew's had in the match, and to look at the scoreboard and only see that there's one frame between them is a bit surprising. But it has been a much scrappier match than the semi-finals has been, that's for sure.
I don't think he'll be happy with that. He's just gone too far. He's got to.
Yeah, it looks like he's absolutely hard up on that cushion. So
he's trying to make position on this loose red. So he'll have to play it with a little bit of running side to slip past it and pot that red into the same pocket. He's kissing the blue here.
I think he's going to land. Ooh, I was going to say a bit straight on the red after the kiss, but still a shot there. And if he misses this with the rest, I don't think he'll leave anything because none of the reds are on into the middle. He's on 60. Still needs red colour red.
Too thick.
No.
James gets back to the table, but very, very strong position for Matthew, 60 points up.
Just think he'll be containing Matthew with this shot.
Well, this red could pass, George, and if it does, I can't see Jimmy knocking it back. The outside red past the pink.
Into the green pocket.
Yeah.
It's a bit hard to tell from the angle that we're looking at, but he might get a kiss on the second red if he does take that one on, and I don't know where he's going to land with the white.
I think he's going to screw off that red and land on the black. Yeah.
Oh, no, but minimal damage, you'd think, considering. I think Jimmy's got away with the freebie. No one's really had a look at these two that are touching for a while, so I don't think the jockey's on. Into the middle. Matthew's looking at him now, though. Matthew might be playing both of these. That one might be on into the corner. No. Not
Quiet,
a bad
please.
shot by Jimmy, considering how hard up to the top cushion he was. Can't really afford to lose another red now, so. I think Matthew's just contemplating dropping this one into the middle pocket. And no, he's decided against that. He'll be happy to see that red pull up.
You said, who is it?
A question here from another Robertson, Mark Robertson, just asking why these players are refusing to use the wrist when, I think he's referring to Matthew when he said that the cue ball was on the blue spot. I don't think Matthew had his 6-inch extension on, but still felt that he could play the shot well. I mean, we all know that Matthew isn't the tallest player in the world, but valid question mark. Obviously felt that he had enough cue to get through and play the shot, but in the end missed it, I guess, so brought the break to an end on 60. Looks like all the action's been brought down to the bottom half of the table now, and James has had a bit of a dash at a red, and I think he may have left the red behind the yellow, but nothing else. I think you can get past the brown there, Steve.
Yeah, well, with all the reds the way they are now, that it's looking very long odds. James winning this frame, 60 points behind. I think this red goes. So.
And again, Matthew for the 4th time having the white ball cleaned. Earlier, when Neil was in commentary, he was talking about the tail chalk that seems to be getting popular around the traps these days, Steve? Are you using that chalk, or are you still with the old-fashioned triangle chalk?
I haven't used triangle chalk for a while, but I'm using. I've tried a few different chalks. I'm using Russian magic chalk at the moment, which seems to be working all right for me. I haven't tried the Tayum yet. But, most of the professionals use the Tayum chalk.
Yeah, Neil was saying that a couple of the main guys who were sticking to the triangle were Judd and Ronnie, thinking that Ronnie may be actually waiting for an endorsement before he starts using it. Now, James is at another wild lash at a red, so maybe conceded to the fact that he might not walk away with this frame and just trying to get his arm going, because he has left Matthew a chance to basically close him out here. And again we see Dan showing off with his camera angles, giving you a brilliant view of what's going on in front of Matthew here.
So just the black required for Snooker's required stage, and yeah, looking like 4-2 now.
So do you think James will play on, or do you think he'll just concede early? Steve?
I would say, yeah, James would just want to get on with the match. But it's always worth a go if there's one snooker required, but the way the balls are, it's just such long odds, really. Yes.
And that's not going to help James's cause either. But there is a shot on here for the black with the red behind the green. It's not a high percentage shot, but after James's last couple of shots, you'd fancy they'd go for it.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I think James going on like this is probably only going to hurt him. So I think we'll see him concede the next time that Matthew misses a shot here. So Matthew trying to give that red a bit of a nudge over the middle pocket. Not really critical. And he's recovered well from that missed black in the the fifth frame. And I don't think we'll see James getting out of his seat for this one. So a 4-2 to Matthew. Needs 2 more frames to bring the biscuits home.
Let's talk about a more prosperous tomorrow. A tomorrow where your finances, property investments, property management, accounting and financial planning
Dan's the
are
winner
looked
with the chicken
after
dinner.
in exceptional capacity, all under the same roof. When hiring Reventon, you are hiring a team of professionals to support you in your investment and financial decisions. Your future is Reventon's future.
Have a look in
So,
have a look on the
let's
Reventon
talk
Facebook
about a
page.
more prosperous tomorrow. Today.
not going to be dead. Oh, God, my phone's in. Can you plug me in, please? I've got a charger wrapped up in here somewhere. Just unplug the laptop.
Frame 7, Matthew Bolton leads 4 frames to 2. Matthew to break.
So we're back here at the RACV for frame 7. Matthew getting himself into a bit of a commanding position here. I think James just needs to regroup, recompose, and come back and produce a snooker that we all know that he's capable of. Never easy when you're playing guys like Matthew, but James is probably one of the few guys who could make a fist of this from this position.
Excuse me. Can you not? Cheers.
Matthew seems to have played a billiards in-off. Looks to have been a disturbance in the crowd, which John Moss has attended to.
Yeah, that's well, it's not bad actually. It's not bad. It's worked out good. I thought he hit it way too thick. I thought he was going for behind the green there, but
Yeah, that's a great result.
That's worked out perfectly. I'm not sure if he played it that way, but
I'm sure he'll take it. Awkward bridging here for Jimmy. Doesn't want the kiss on the blue, but
yeah,
what he's got.
this is the problem. I feel James's defensive play hasn't really been up to it in this match. Can't really afford, like Matthew's cue ball control has been really
you can see him in the corner there,
really
holding his
strong
head.
this tournament. So if you present him with these sort of chances, he's going to be, you know, getting a good lead and then very difficult to get back in the frames.
Yeah, I think Matthew will pick up on that as well, and you know, he'll grow another leg and just start really firing now. It'll be interesting to see if James will get another crack at this frame.
Yeah, so that's, yeah, thanks Dan for that angle. That's really thin now, so he's no chance of holding for black. He'll be going up for blue or ball colours.
Blue's a fair way off its spot, but by the looks of it, Matthew's almost landed.
Oh, that's
Actually,
perfect.
He has landed perfect on the blue.
So he's got a bit of work to do though. Blue, he's got another red, but after that, he's got some work to do, so. Nice angle on the black now. And pack's not too bad, actually. I feel if he hits him in the right spot, he's going to get a good result here. So
Yeah, they haven't been opening up exceptionally well.
he's
But
playing that really low, so he's trying to screw off that middle red. And that's
whether
pretty
he's had
good.
a result or not. I mean, he's got a tough red into the middle, but they have opened, but whether he's had a result or not still remains. The pink did move slightly off its spot as well, so that helps his cause. Sussing it.
So great chance now to go 5-2 up, and a long way back for James after if he goes 5-2 down.
Yeah,
He's opened the balls up nicely here, Matthew. Good, really good chance. So
yeah, 4 on the trot.
the way he's been playing it amongst the balls,
4 on the trot's going to be tricky for Jimmy. You don't often see too many guys pinching 4 on the trot off
that's
Matthew.
absolutely perfect. So there's not much trouble now. Everything's opened up nicely.
He's on 42, which is his lead.
He hasn't really put a foot wrong today, Matthew. Scored very heavily in the semi-final, scoring very well in the final.
There's only just a couple of scrappy frames in the middle of the final, really. Other than that, he's really looked dominant. Oh, and again the Spiteri curse kicks in and puts the moz on any player who's in the balls and playing well.
It's had a bit of a result. The reds come and knock the black off the cush and sort of ended up near the black spot, so that makes things a little bit tricky for James. So Probably just take a few pinks to start with, and I'm not sure where this pink's going. If it goes on its spot, James is just coming down to have a look at that. So I think it's going on the black spot, so that's why he's going to take the long blue, screw back.
It's a good shot. Probably could have come back a little further, but
6.
Yeah, I think he wanted to be on the lower red, so he could clear the pink spot. Go up. Yeah. Be interesting to see how he goes about this anyway. He'll want to get that pink spot and black spot cleared. So I'm not sure if this does, this red, if that clears the pink spot. Maybe it does.
that's wiped its feet on the way in, but he was trying to pinch as much of the pocket so he can hold the white. Ooh.
No.
James Wilson,
No.
7. Matthew Bolton, 55. James Wilson.
And you see again Jimmy returning to his seat. It's probably underhit that a little bit, Matthew.
7.
Looks like,
Doesn't really matter, George. He's just this red for the frame.
yeah. Looks like James has a bit of a mountain to climb after this frame. Well, there you go. This time it was you putting the curse on, Steve, so welcome to the club.
I'm surprised he didn't just drop that in. I thought it was natural to go up for blue, but he chose to stun it in.
Yeah, I think James needs to really quickly recompose. He knows that
Yeah,
he's not playing as he
That's a
can.
poor shot. That's a poor shot. That's not good enough. I think I just
55
felt
behind.
Just felt he rushed that a bit. Didn't really give it much thought.
So we're definitely seeing a build in momentum here by Matthew. And again,
So 5-2.
commentator's curse. Yeah, it's 5-2. What's Jimmy going to do here?
Quiet, please.
Don't know if there'll be much good trying to slow Matthew down here, but 62 points the difference. It's 3 snookers.
Yeah, I would not recommend playing on here.
Yeah. I think the only purpose this could serve is to just try to slow Matthew down, but I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, I don't think James tries to slow anyone down, George, but
Momentum-wise,
he's trying to win the frame, but against Matthew, getting snookers is very difficult. But it's the final of the National, so he's going to give it a crack.
James Mifsud, 8.
It's about as good a result as you can wish for there. He's played that well.
Well, there you
One
go.
down. 2 to go for James.
Hit
Is it
that
2 to go?
way too thick. Suddenly, there's a glimmer of hope. If you can stick this long red in, pot the black and lay a good snooker.
That's a fantastic shot. And down. Perfectly on the black.
Yeah. Just got to screw back past the pink, send that red down near the ball colours and leave him tight behind the black.
So 42 the difference here.
Yeah, just
And the way the balls are, leaving a free ball isn't impossible. That's a great shot.
There's the red next to the ball colour. So
Matthew Bolton, 69. James Mifsud, 31.
it's a very good snooker, and that's what it has to be when you're playing someone of Matthew's quality and his billiards knowledge. Needs to be a very difficult snooker, so he's looking to hit that cushion there with a heap of side. Or maybe he's trying to go 2 cushions, but 2 cushions would be dangerous. You could leave. Okay, so that's why James has played on. I wouldn't have gone 2 cushions myself, but we apologise for that, everyone. The score we had on the screen was incorrect. It's actually 69 to 35. So James can win now. So didn't need as many snookers as we thought. So and he has a free ball as well. So. I mean, he's looking at the yellow, but geez, what a tough shot that is from where he is.
You think maybe he might play the
And
yellow to play the snooker behind the black?
Not just a tough pot, but he's leaving the red for sure.
Oh no, he's played the brown. He has played the snooker, but we both thought he was playing on the yellow.
What a lovely shot. Absolutely lovely. And the middle pocket's in the way for getting out of the snooker from that side cushion, from the right side cushion. So
Matthew will be taking his 2 cushion option on. Just a matter of where he leaves them.
yeah. Yeah, so apologies for that. He can now win. You could see he was looking at that yellow. He wanted to take it on, but it would have been just, if he missed it, he was leaving the frame. So, yeah.
So Matthew just sizing up this shot with
He's not going too
some
cushion,
left-hand
George.
side.
He's playing it with a lot of side.
He has hit it.
It's an opportunity, I feel, for James.
Yeah, it's definitely on, and James can run on for blue, pink or black. I don't think he'd want to go far down as the black, but definitely a chance to steal the frame here. Oh no, where's this red going to stop? And that is an absolute blessing.
Well, it's a pretty simple scenario now for James. 5-2 down.
He's just got to win 4 frames.
That's it.
That really would have put a dent in Matthew's confidence had he lost this frame after losing that previous frame in the on the black. But it looks like they've exchanged frames and lost one each. So. And there you have it, 5-2 to Matthew, as the boys just get away for a quick break.
Let's talk about a more prosperous tomorrow. A tomorrow where your finances, property investments, property management, accounting, and financial planning are looked after in an exceptional capacity, all under the same roof. When hiring Reventon, you are hiring a team of professionals to support you in your investment and financial decisions. Your future is Reventon's future. So, let's talk about a more prosperous tomorrow today.
Quiet please. 8th frame. Matthew Bolton leads 5 frames to 2. James Mifsud to break.
Okay, so James to break off in frame 8.
With a mountain to climb. Actually, he's hit the blue, but I was just thinking then, was the blue actually on its spot? It didn't look in line with the rest of the colours. anyone checking this out on YouTube could probably flick it back a little bit and see if I'm wrong, see if I'm going mad.
You had a few too many, mate. Well, yeah, not really for me to, go around that.
He's not really playing, he's trying to take them now.
Nice long putt by James. Not sure if he's on anything though with the blue covering the yellow pocket.
Come on, James.
Just roll up behind the green.
James Mifsud.
Yeah, I don't think he's quite got behind that. Yeah, he's left Matthew an edge.
That seems to be advanced, but massively over the last 6-7 years. Well, I mean, it's 15 years.
Just feel Matthew's adapted more to the table. Like that safety's just spot on there. And James has just been,
A little wayward with his safety.
yeah, he's been missing the mark.
Yeah, the cities.
Slightly thick again. Struggling to reach the balk line, so just he's getting the upper hand from what I've seen, and creating the first chance in every frame, which once you start doing that, you're very, very difficult to beat.
I think we're going to see a large screw back here from Matthew. Oh,
Oh, he's cued that well.
he has cued that well, and well enough not to land dead straight on the blue if that blue is hard up on the rail.
Maybe it's not.
Yeah, they asked me to.
And these are
That's right.
yeah, no, it's just not trying.
So he's managed to come down perfectly for the red nearest the black spot. What angle he has now will...
Yeah, this black passes, I think, too. So he's in great shape here.
Matthew will be feeling a little bit better about playing that deadweight black into the corner. It just seems a little bit more focused now.
Yeah, his cue ball control, like I said before, has been fantastic this weekend. Hasn't made many mistakes around the black at all.
So I'm sure we'll be seeing Matthew leaving himself an angle on the black to get into the pack here. Oh, he's coming back on the other side by the looks of that looks of that cue. Looks to have finished a lot straighter than I thought, Steve.
Yeah, I think he
Playing for the outside reds there.
just caught a bit too much running side.
Oh, don't know what he's played there. Probably wanted to come back an extra couple of inches for that red into the yellow pocket, Steve, or maybe even into the middle. Is it on to the middle? No, it's not.
Anthony Bolton, 30.
So break ends at 30.
That second contact on the white ball helped the angle along, but it's a little longer than what James was trying to achieve.
I think Matthew will be trying to trap James here, leave the cue ball in between brown and green. That's pretty good as well. That's spot on.
Yeah, it just looks like Matthew's
Yeah.
safety is that much tighter.
Yeah, he's controlling the safety battles really.
Whereas James just seems to keep hitting thick and
Yeah.
not hard enough, and now we have an opportunity for Matthew to put a red into the corner. Matthew just sizing up this pink, seeing if it goes past the red at the top of the pack there. Can't see an obvious red from there afterwards. Oh, there's enough of an angle to get down, so probably looked deceptively straight. Steve?
Yeah, this red's it looks straight from here, so I don't know if he can punch it. Yeah, no, he can. Just enough two cushions.
8.
Aiming to kiss that solo red in the middle of the pack there. He's hit it well, although I think he's going to struggle to get down onto this red.
Yeah, just got a little bit too much screw, so he's made it quite difficult here.
Could be asking the referee for the spider here, if he chooses to take it on. Matthew just weighing up a pot into the middle pocket. Looks very thin from this angle, Steve. What do you think?
Yeah. But,
Got it.
fantastic.
Big risk. Yep. Yeah, he seems to be getting back to the form he showed in the semis now. He's just starting to get a bit of a rig along, and just noticing there a little flicker of the lights in the snooker room. And ball clean number 5 for Matthew. Michael Hoff wants to know if the table is running slow, Steve. Michael Hoff, the father of New South Wales madman Luke Hoff. I think it's safe to say that the table is playing a little slow there, Michael. The table was reclothed just prior to this tournament, but it seems that Matthew seems to be the one that's adapted to it the quickest.
Break goes to 32, 37, 66 ahead, so this is championship ball here.
Yeah, these aren't the ones that Matthew misses. He sees the finish line. He's very good at finishing off.
So that caps off a really good preparation for Matthew for the World Championships, which will be played here, the World Billiards Championships at the RSAV Club in October. He's done the double for billiards this year, which is a rare feat to win the Australian Billiards Championship and the Australian Snooker Championship. So
it's a nice split on the.
He'll be feeling really, really good at this point. Knocked in some fabulous breaks today as well in his semi-final against Charlie Chafe. This is the blue, but that doesn't matter.
James is going to come out and shake his hand, and we have a result, guys, in the 2019 Australian Snooker Championship, with a bit of a fist pump there from Matthew Bolton. Safe to say he's a little bit chuffed.
Thank you to all our sponsors, Reventon,
everyone who helped to put this event on, with
RSAV Club, Dan Lynch, Q-Ball TV,
all the referees and the officials,
Mitchell Billiards, and obviously the Victorian Billiards and Snooker Association and the Australian Billiards Council. Another fantastic championships. a lot of century breaks. It was two great semi-finals, and yeah, Matthew just too strong in the final for James. James was really firing on all cylinders in the final, but still a great tournament for James, getting to the final. And yeah, well done Matthew. Well done George.
Well done, Steve.
Great job, mate.
So, what would you like to do? You tell me where you'd like to start. Let you go. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Frank, are you coming down here to present anything? Frank? You're not busy? Not too much? Thank you. On behalf of the Victorian Billiards and Snooker Association, and as the tournament director for this particular tournament, I'd like to A, thank all the players who are involved, B, thank all the sponsors who are involved, C, thank all the spectators who've come along. Thank you very, very much for being here today. We're extremely fortunate to have this as a venue, and it's a privilege for us to have you here and spend your time with us, enjoying what is a magnificent spectacle. Could I ask you please to put your hands together for the two combatants, James Mifsud and Matthew Bolton. We have often referred to the Australian National Snooker as the jewel in the crown, and so it is. We are the Victorian Billiards and Snooker Association. We are an affiliate of the Australian Billiards and Snooker Council. That means that we foster, develop and encourage both sports, billiards and snooker. In the history of these competitions, the Australian National Billiards and the Australian National Snooker, there have been two other players who have won the National Billiards and the National Snooker in the same year. They're David Collins and Steve Mifsud. Matthew Bolton did it a few years ago, and today he becomes the only player in history to have won the National Snooker and the National Billiards in the 1 year twice. Congratulations. these things don't happen without a great deal of work and a great deal of effort on the part of the players. We've had a great deal of effort and a great deal of work on the part of the sponsors and also the people and staff here at the RACV Club. So I'd like to thank them very much for everything that they've done in terms of providing their room for us through these 3 days, but also in terms of the hospitality that they've shown to us and the generosity that they show towards us. We're extremely fortunate to have the cooperation that we do with the RACV City Club, and I'd like to thank all of them and all of their staff, etc. I would like to ask Mr. Frank Dewins, the President of the Australian Billiards and Snooker Council, to come forward and say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. First and foremost, I'd like to once again thank the RACV Club for hosting this event. I think it's 26 years now, Paul, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, 26 years that we've been enjoying their hospitality here, and hopefully we can be here for another 26 years. I don't think I will be, but I'm hopeful that the game will be here in another 26 years. To Paul Cosgrove and the VBSA board, thank you very much again for your fantastic way that you run this tournament. It's probably what's the most prestigious tournament on the ABSC calendar, and we're in good hands with the VBSA running it. Thank you very much indeed. To George Taylor and his crew for the magnificent work they do, George. Once again, your company's prepared a fantastic table. I think we've had 4 century breaks over this period of time. Matthew's probably showed off a little bit, he's made 3 of them, but I think it couldn't go to a better player, Matty, and you played really well, Matt. Congratulations. To the spectators that came along, thank you very much indeed for supporting us and supporting the game. Without you, these guys wouldn't be playing in the atmosphere that you produced by being there, and thank you very much for coming along and supporting it. Hopefully in a few weeks' time, in October, we've got the World Billiards here, and hopefully we're hopeful to see all your faces here again. You'll have the world's best here, including Matty Bolton, and some of Australia's best players. Mike Russell will be here, Peter Gilchrist, and the world's best. So I invite you all to come along and have a look at the world's best billiard players. So thank you very much indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, could I ask you to put your hands together, please, for the combatant who has made us a most thrilling final, the runner-up, Mr. James Mifsud.
First of all, well done to Matthew. You were the best player all day today. 2 beautiful 130 yards in the semi-final. Far too good in the final, so well done on your second national. And all the best in the billiards. So you're going to be fired up for that and having a world championship in your home country. So good luck, mate. To Rody, their first here in the morning and last to leave each day, and all the referees as well. Thanks to John for doing the final, you've done a great job. Thanks to everyone who came to watch. We struggled to get people to watch, so it was a decent crowd, and we really appreciate when people are here watching. So thank you very much. See you all.
And so we come to the winner of the National Snooker. This will be a fairly extended presentation ceremony. So firstly, I'd like to have Frank Dewins present this Australian National Snooker Winners Trophy to Matthew Bolton. Thank you.
Oh, hang on.
Thank you. Matthew, can you just put that down alongside your chair or something? Frank, could you help Matthew with the perpetual trophy? It is incredibly heavy, so be very careful, guys.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
All right, Frank?
Yes. I won't drop it.
Okay. I do have one further important thing to do. I'm about to give Matthew his money. I would like to thank all our sponsors, CLNS, the ABSC sponsor of record, Reventon, the RACV City Club, and I'd especially like to thank Mr Alex Alabakis, who was kind enough to volunteer a sum of money for every person who made a break of 120 or more. After that was announced, Matthew Bolton managed to make a break of 126 and seemed quite pleased with himself. He came out through the door singing, "Show me the money." And then this morning when we came in and Kurt Dunham made his magnificent 136 over on table 1, I didn't think this could get much better. But for Matthew to make 137 in the next frame and 2 frames later to make a break of 131, I don't think you would ever see a more deserving winner of the high break prize than Matthew Bolton. Well done. The Australian National Snooker. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes. Firstly, to Jimmy, it's a pleasure to play you, mate. And you've got me in the last 2 big finals, so obviously that was a bit in the back of my mind today. Yeah, you're just a credit to the game, a credit to your family and all your friends, mate. People enjoy coming here to watch you play snooker. You play with a smile on your face. You attack the game, and let's hope we can play many, many more big finals over the years, buddy. So thanks, mate. It's a pleasure. To the RACV club and all the members for giving up your room for the weekend, thank you very much. Us players appreciate venues like this so much. There's certainly none popping up around the country, they only slowly disappear, so yeah, on behalf of all the players, please keep supporting us and keep supporting the game. It's one of the best venues in the world. To all the referees, John for doing the final, great job. All the scorers, Larry, all the other referees, I won't name you individually. That'll be fun. Thank you very much. To all the players that played in it, thanks a lot. Cue Ball TV, always just awesome what he does for the game. To have my family and friends watching back home means a lot to me, especially when you hear the roar go up for Jimmy at 1-1. That was great. That was fantastic. The game needs more. The game here needs more of that. That was just awesome. You know, brilliant clearance, and you know, to hear that roar for James. You know, and playing him in Melbourne in front of a home crowd, and I'm not sure if there's anyone here going for me, but that's fine. Judgy, you're a West Australian. Judgy, very true. So yeah, it was just awesome, and hopefully we can try and grow the crowds and have that atmosphere to play in front of. So thanks to everyone that came along and watched and created that atmosphere, and finally just thanks to all my family back home. This is pretty special to be the first player to win this twice in the same year, and they don't get to travel away and have their mates, have their family and everyone watching me. So to all you guys watching back home on the camera, you beauties, we'll see you tonight.
I would like to just thank a few people to finish. We've been extremely fortunate this week to have had Alice Wu, who's travelled down from Queensland to do the refereeing. I travelled down from New South Wales to referee. They both did a great job in the semi-finals this morning. I'm extremely proud of our Victorian referees because Larry does a great job motivating and encouraging them all. We also have Dan Lynch and Cue Ball TV to thank for a magnificent performance in terms of the fact that he provides this live streaming out of here, and there are people on the other side of the world who sit up and watch this live streaming. So we're very grateful for that. We've had a special highlight today in the fact that our world champion, Neil Robertson, has been one of the commentators on We've had our other world champion, Steve Mifsud, commentating on the live streaming. And to hear these two knowledgeable people going at it has been a great boom to us. I know Steve's had a vested interest in terms of his brother playing in the final, but he's managed to sound quite neutral as a commentator, except when he says, Julian! My own personal thanks go obviously to the board of the BBNSA, but especially to Mr. Henry Chekuti, who does a magnificent job in providing all this. My one last thing is to tell you that the bar is now available for you all to have drinks until we reach the limit, and very shortly there will be some hot food coming down. So please join us in the bar. Everyone, thank you very much. We need some photos in front of the
Let's talk about a more prosperous tomorrow. A tomorrow where your finances, property investments, property management, accounting, and financial planning are looked after in an exceptional capacity, all under the same roof. When hiring Reventon, you are hiring a team of professionals to support you in your investment and financial decisions. Your future is Reventon's future. So, let's talk about a more prosperous tomorrow today.
Yeah.